Movies can inspire from real life experiences. Horror movies such as Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs all have one serial killer in common: Ed Gein. Hello, hi, I'm Dee Sparta. I'm a psychic medium, and welcome to my channel. I do hope this video does find you well. Let me know in the comments below what's going on, how you're doing, and what videos you like, and like, what do you think of this? This is my favorite time of the year. It's fall. Now, I have been busy lately and dealing with some asthma attacks that have left me bedridden for a day or so. But I'm up and I'm about, and I am looking forward to this month and doing more of these readings for you. It's that spooky time of year, and to celebrate, I will be covering the dark, the scary, and the unnerving. Now, I have done videos on other serial killers, as I have done these psychic readings and reached out to communicate with them, with the dead. It's been a wild experience. Well, Ted Bundy, he had a lot to say. He wanted to talk, and I was just pretty much like, shut up. And then on the other hand, Jeffrey Dahmer was just very quiet and hesitant. It's like he didn't want to be misunderstood by what he liked. He was creepy. It was just weird. And yes, I do have a playlist with these readings in case you want to watch it. So today we're going to learn about the notorious killer who inspired several movies and franchises. So stick around. Now, if you want to just jump on ahead and get to that psychic reading, I have the chapter links included down for you. So, you know what? I will see you there. Thanks for sticking around. We're going to get into this. Ed Gein is one of the most vile, disturbing, tortured serial killers in history. Now, the body count, we're not quite sure how many people he actually did murder or he just robbed their graves. Well, yeah. Horror film characters such as Buffalo Bill, Norman Bates, and Leatherface were created with Ed Gein in mind. And it's like, well, it's kind of like, how this all, well, honey, well, we're gonna get into this. So, if this kind of, what we're gonna get into is, I am not going to go into any gory details, okay? But I will talk about what he is notorious for. Nazis' influence on him. And so if some of this is just not your cup of tea, that's fine. Move on. I have plenty of other videos. Or you just want to get to the psychic reading, that's fine too. Whichever is you're most comfortable with, okay? Now, I got a lot of information from all over the internet, and I've been watching documentaries on Ed Gein. He was born in La Crosse, Wisconsin on August 27th, 1906. It's speculated that his troubled childhood and cruel mother set him on his dark path of murder and grave robbing. He's also known as the Butcher Plainfield or the Plainfield Ghoul. You see, his mother, she was very religious. Okay, she was a very, very religious person, and she was very domineering and controlling, and it is alleged that she was extremely abusive in the way she treated her son. His father, well, he pretty much was a very timid man, an alcoholic, which probably gave Ed's mother, Augusta, just more ability to dominate the situation in the family. Yes, they were. He was born in La Crosse, Wisconsin, but they ended up moving to Plainsfield, Wisconsin, because guess what? Mommy Dearest thought that La Crosse was becoming too much like Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh yeah, that's allegedly what. Yeah, someone. Yeah. Now, um, she now she had two sons, Henry, which we don't hear too much about, and Henry could possibly be Ed's first victim. We're not quite sure on this. See, Augusta, she raised Ed and his brother Henry to believe that the world was full of evil, and evil were women, the vessels of sin, and that drinking and immorality were instruments of the devil. Now you gotta realize, she's married to an alcoholic drunk, so she probably didn't want her sons doing that, but she was very twisted in her punishments and her control. The kids were basically, they could go to school, very limited interaction at school, and come straight home and work on the farm. They did not have a life outside the farm. There was no socializing with others. And while Ed was in school, people say he was very socially awkward. He probably, was shy. And plus, he's got a mother telling him, you got the vessels of sin over here, and, everyone's evil, and pounding these things into his head, But she thought evil was all around continuously. Not, like I said, she thought Sodom and Gomorrah, man. La Crosse was the sinkhole of filth, and she needed to protect her family. So, yeah. Because she thought her sons would become corrupt. Ironical. The irony of that one. But he was very isolated. And Ed, like myself, has lazy eye, but he also had a speech impediment. So he was bullied in school. I gotta tell you, having lazy eye, I was bullied in school. It sucked. Now, as much as his mother was controlling and very ultra religious, he adored her. His mother was everything, and she was his world, okay? And I think she might have kind of manipulated him to believe this, Only trust me, Ed. I can keep you safe, do this for me, and can't go around other women. I mean, there was a weird dynamic between the mother and Ed, Augusta and Ed, where you kind of see the Norman Bates story in Psycho. There's that, But we're gonna go dive further where it gets even worse, okay? Now, his father passed away in 1940. And apparently, Ed says he didn't have much an influence in his life. He was just absorbed. Everything was about his mother. And he seemed to embrace this whole idea of just how horrible the world is. She had a very harsh, scary, just dark way the worldview is. Now, Henry, Ed's brother, he would stand up to Augusta at times. He didn't agree with her. Of course, he got into some trouble. But Ed would never disagree with his mother. He would take whatever punishments that she would devise up and give him. Now, it's interesting that if Henry was willing to stand up to his mom, and that Ed was uh, obsessed with his mother, idolized her. So it's things are a little fishy here. We're coming around in 1944, where Ed and Henry they set out to clear some vegetation in the fields by burning it away. And you're not familiar with this process of clearing the fields so that you can, get the earth prepared to for the next season, to grow again, vegetation. You have to burn everything away, okay? I would live near where they did this to onions, and I gotta tell you, that was the most I can't not bad, just bad. Rotten onions burning in the fields. This was just this. There's some childhood memories of mine just etched in the brain here, folks. So basically, this is what they went out to do. But only Ed came back. Apparently, Henry didn't make it through the night of them burning, and it's a little suspicious. Apparently, it's like the fire got out of control. When now firefighters did come out to the farm and put out the blaze, but Ed was like, "I don't know what happened to my brother. He's just vanished. Just Henry's vanished." But his body was soon found afterward, face down in the marsh, and he died from asphyxiation. Now, everyone thought this was just a really tragic accident in the town at first. I mean, no one had suspected that Ed could turn out to be someone truly disturbing. Now, what this meant is, 1940, Daddy passed away. 1944, Henry's gone. So now, Ed and Augusta are alone. They have the whole farmhouse to themselves. But this didn't last long. It's only for about a year, because in 45, Augusta passed away. And it was with her passing that it is believed that he allegedly went through this descent where he spent the next 10 years. He just descended into darkness, depravity, just horrors that are unthinkable. Well, they're in the movies, so you can think about it. But at the time, you got to realize what happens and what police find definitely scars them. See, following Augusta's death, Ed, he transformed the house into something of a shrine to her memory. He boarded up certain rooms and blocked off areas and just kept everything real pristine that she used to like to be in. And then he moved himself into this small bedroom off the kitchen. So keep in mind, when you part of the house, he is locked up. It's like, this is all to my mommy. Just, he's got this weird obsession with her, okay? And as he was just spiraling alone in the darkness in this farmhouse alone, he started getting to different obsessions. Now you realize his mother, everything is evil, stay away, protect. But the boy got himself into learning about Nazi medical experiments. He started studying human anatomy. Some say he also got into porn, which I guess for somebody who, sex and women are vessels of sin, porn was like a big, taboo for him. Now keep in mind, he never attempted, apparently, to date any women. Well, these women who were alive. That we know of. And he also loved reading horror novels. Now, certain things, knowing human anatomy, porn, horror novels, those don't make you a bad person. But, you know, I think, it's good to know what the Nazis had done and understand their true evil so that it's not repeated, even though it is, unfortunately. But for Ed, this just made him sink into this world where he had a lot of sick fantasies. And nobody realized that this was going on in this little farmhouse. They just pretty much left Ed alone. He's lost all his family. He's always been a little socially awkward. There wasn't a whole lot, people, to expect. Now, in 1957, an older woman had just gone missing. I believe she was the local hardware store owner. Her name is Bernice Warden. She went missing, and all that was left of her that they could find, they knew she was gone, were some blood stains. And, police trying to figure out what's going on with Bernice. Where did she go? What could have happened to this woman? She was a widow. People are like, well, who was the last customer in her store? Was there someone suspicious? Was there a customer? Did they do this to her? But then they looked into all this, and none other than Ed Gein was that last customer who'd been in the store. He'd actually gone to buy a gallon of antifreeze. So police were like, well, let's go to the farmhouse and see if Ed knows anything. Let's check this out. What they walked into was a nightmare, a terror story, this most unspeakable, horrific thing that they could ever imagine come face to face with. And they did find Bernice Warden there, and she was in the kitchen, decapitated, and hung up by her ankles in the rafters. Now, I'm not going to go into the further details of her body, but it was... what he did to her is... I can't get into here. I'm sure you can look it all up, because there's plenty of information. Just go into looking into Ed Gein. They also found some other stuff that just made them go, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure. I'm paraphrasing here, folks. But they found tons of bones. Just bones. And some of them were whole and some of them were fragmented. They found skulls impaled on bedposts. Bowls and kitchen utensils were made from skulls, human skulls. Skulls, he didn't stop at bones, folks. No. This is where we get into the whole Buffalo Bill and, Leatherface scenario here. We're getting into where he inspired these guys. Okay, we got obsessed with mommy. We're gonna get into it gets worse. He used human skin for lots of things. And I'm uncontrollably laughing because I don't know how else to get through this. Yeah. They found chairs upholstered in human skin, a wastebasket also made, leggings made from human leg skin, masks made from the faces, a belt of nipples, a pair of lips were being used as a window shade string, a corset made of a female torso, the lampshade made from a human face. This is gross, folks. And along with these items, the police were found there was just lots of different dismembered body parts. And I mean, from fingernails, noses to genitals. And they were from 9 different women. And there was a woman, Mary Hogan, who had gone missing in 1954, about 3 years before all this. They found her remains there. She was a tavern keeper. Now, the other parts, people, where'd this come from? Where'd they come from? Well, Ed goes to explain that, there was about several graveyards that he would go to and just look for bodies that he thought resembled his mother. We're back on the Ed Bates thing here too, okay? Reason why he did this is he wanted to make a woman suit, folks. He wanted to be able to become mother and crawl into her skin, as he put it. This is gross. Yeah. So this farmhouse, and Ed became known as the Butcher Plainfield. After visiting the house, they were just like, this is horrible. But he was found not guilty by reasons of insanity in 1957, where he was sent to Central State Hospital for the criminally insane, and he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Then his farmhouse just mysteriously burned to the ground. Now, I think maybe the neighborhood was like, let's just burn this evil shit down, get rid of it. I'd understand if they wanted to do something like that. It makes sense to me. Now, 10 years later, in the 60s, the hospital doctors are like, you know what? Ed is now fit to face stand trial. And he was only convicted of the murder of Bernice Worden. Just her. The state thought it'd be a waste of money to go after him for Mary Hogan. They were like, Ed's insane. We already know this. So he's going to end up spending the rest of his life in these hospitals anyway, so why bother? Why bother? He was desecrating human remains, people. He explained things that he was doing with them. There were parts of found on the stove, on the frying pan, like a heart. Okay? So he could have been, eating these things, and I mean, there's just so much. But people really don't know exactly how many people he actually killed. I mean, if he, if we're thinking just maybe 2 women, maybe his brother, that's 3. But his crimes of depravity were so horrifying, and it really affected the community. And he ended up living, though. He told me about 77. And he only have ever admitted to killing Worden and Hogan. Nobody else. I think they found at least 40 bodies in this home. But Ed will claim he's on his dying deathbed that he robbed these all from graves. It seems like a lot of bodies, but I think he was like trying to say there was 3 graveyards. I don't know. So people we don't know exactly how many people Ed Gein actually killed or not. But he is probably one of America's most disturbing serial killers out there that we've had. I mean, it's awful. But with all that, you kind of now know who Ed Gein is if you didn't know before, and now you understand, why, where characters as Norman Bates and Leatherface and Buffalo Bill, they were inspired by a real life man who did very horrible things. Okay, let's get into the whole tarot reading now. Alright, welcome back. We're going to get into the psychic reading covering Ed Gein. This is a picture of Ed Gein. This is also from the True Crime Tarot deck that I have, okay? Which has serial killers and such. Okay, yeah, picture. Okay. In this deck, Ed Gein is the Hermit, and as we covered in, I explained it before, he was definitely isolated and was a hermit in many ways. So that card fits well for him. All right, folks, remember that these readings are alleged and for entertainment. Keep in mind, though, that he has been convicted of one murder and he has admitted to 2. So not everything is alleged here. What they found in his home, all that horrible things, none of that's alleged. That's, you get what I'm saying here. But gosh, the energy is really dark. I trying to click into him. I kind of want to know from kind of sensing, okay. I'm sorry. I'm just getting this image. I was kind of feeling his energy, and now I'm feeling his mom. She's very sick and twisted herself. Ed was her good boy. My good boy is what I keep hearing. He was my good boy. Misunderstood. Ooh. Yeah. Let me get some cards here and let's see what you can pick up from this. Just, I'm getting... Okay. So, the moon here is reversed. There's a lot of stuff hidden about him with his mom and other victims. Okay. That is... right. That is definitely... with the moon upside down, there is definitely I'm getting just real darkness, some twisted. He was very deceptive. He wasn't necessarily a grave robber. I keep looking over the credits. It is almost like he was groomed to punish these women, to punish women. So, yeah, he was. And with the Ace of Swords here, and as you see, that's going to hand. He definitely was groomed to kill, because the next card that followed here is we're dealing with, is the Queen of Wands. Mommy dear here. Oh, this was reversed, sorry. I put this in the wrong way. I flip it so I can look at the image clearer. But, yeah, she had very strong opinions I believe these were put into her. She had something tragic, something really fucked up happened to her in the past, in her youth, getting married to someone that she felt that she could control because she had been violated and control taken from her. Okay. But it wasn't a man. This is what she really did not trust women. I think she there's like this woman around her that really upset her. Okay. So with the 6 of Wands, they're in this deck. This is action, and they're feeling like rising above. Really, he felt he was better than these women, whom he violated with their bodies, and how he desecrated them, whether he killed them or found their graves. Apparently, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, and here's the key. He was looking for women. He went look for bodies, he said, that reminded him of his mother. How did he know what these from 3 different graveyards and all these? There's just something fishy about this story that I am not. And I just kind of get this feeling from Ed, kind of smirk and laugh, like, "Oh, you think you're smart, huh, Dee?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do." Okay, I'm just getting he's showing you just horrible imagery. And just the pleasure he took. And it was pretty much as a slap in his mother's face. But at the same time, it was this, he's like, punishing the women because it's their fault that he's doing this to them. Yeah. He really obsessed with his mother. Um, and it was not in a healthy manner. And I'm saying that, okay, I believe he probably had a lot of sexual fantasies of his mom. I think she relied on Ed as more of a husbandly figure than her own husband, who was very timid and an alcoholic. She hated alcoholism, and I could tell you she had zero respect for this man. I'm really sensitive. She couldn't stand him. Ed was more of a man than her husband. Henry was an idiot. I'm telling you, he deserved to die out there. Allegedly, she wanted him gone. It's like her kind of coming on to Ed and being like, see, this is the family reversed. The 9 of Cups, the whole dysfunction here. He just, she was like promising him all this stuff that, we're going to be alone. It's going to be just the 2 of us. Get rid of your older brother. He's getting in the way. He can't be trusted. Yeah. So, yeah, his idea of family was warped by his mother. Uh-huh. So, the 8 of Swords here is reversed, and you see the bound woman and the swords. He thought he was freeing these women. Freeing them from being these horrible evil vessels. It's like, this is your redemption. I'm freeing you from having to live this life to be this anymore. And taking your life is helping it. Yeah, he's nasty. He's just a nasty motherfucker. Yeah, it's like, fuck you, kind of thing. Yeah, he drowned his brother. The Three of Cups here, and it was planned with his mom. Okay, and this is in this card. There was three, so it's three people, three cups, one of them being drowned. Okay. This is, and it's over the mom. She's the one who did, allegedly convinced Ed to kill Henry, so that those two could be alone together. And the words I wanted to just come out of my mouth, and I stopped myself, but I won't, as husband and wife. It's pretty much what they wanted. It's sickening. It's gross. And when she died, it's like a part of him was gone. And he didn't have her telling him, no, don't touch these other women, stay away from them. And he started just diving in and exploring just the darkness that had been festering and growing this whole time. I'm seeing him being punished, almost like I see like a young version of him tied to a chair and like water being doused on him over and over and over, and it's like, and it was hot water. It's like, you need to be cleansed. I don't really know the punishments or anything but this is what I'm kind of seeing. She hurt him to cleanse him, to keep him on the right, and he was like, oh yeah, this is what needs to happen. But at the same time, he hated for her for this, but she was all he knew. Just very sickening. And I see her definitely violating him in a sexual manner, especially when he was younger. Allegedly, this is just really dark and gross, folks. There is this I don't think he was that much of a grave robber. He probably did some, yeah. But it's like, he could go out. No one knew. He's out on this farm and by himself. It's like he could come and go as he pleased. And, I think he started feeling like he could get away with things. And I think that's where he went after Mary in 1954. Mary Hogan, who went missing, and he admits to killing her. It's like, but, and then he stopped doing. He was like, whoa, people are looking for Mary. This isn't good. I've got to pull back. Okay. So he went far away again. His last killing, though, he could not, it was an obsession. She was like spot on, reminded him of his mother. And it was like, this is she's going to be perfect for me to wear. That's definitely, yeah. So, this card, it's a major arcana card here, and this is Temperance, okay? The guy had no self-control, and he became very impatient when he saw this person, and I think that's why he got caught. It was him being impatient, and like fixated on Bernice. I mean, it's like, woo. Yeah. The Five of Swords here is reversed. Um, he was thinking this was going to by killing her, it was going to release some of his this anger and hatred he felt. Yeah. Yeah, this would bring on the end of his pain and suffering because he could finally become his mom, be with her again. Well, in yeah, yeah, that yeah. Okay, so yeah, he was in love with his mom. This is the Two of Cups. He wanted to be together with her. This is a very twisted love the relationship. I am. Why did witchcraft come up? There is something this mother was obsessed with witchcraft and its evils, but at the same time, there's some she might have believed that she'd been cursed or something. I don't know. This is just one of the most disturbing readings I have done in a long time. Because just getting Augusta and Ed in my head right now, it is bad. It is bad. Yep. So we're just gonna leave it on. I think we got, allegedly we what did we learn? More than likely, those bodies were not all taken from graves. Allegedly, the distorted relationship between Ed and his mom, definitely underlying some incest kind of stuff. Allegedly, kind of, the Norman Bates creepness. Okay, that's definitely okay. I'm gonna end this because this is getting too much going. It's just like too much for me. But folks, I hope you like this video. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know who else you want to see me cover. Just remember, I love you all. And please, be kind to yourselves. And be kind to others, okay? You know what? I will see you all around.